And I think parents want, if you're that teacher that reaches out to them, trust you more. I mean, they're giving you their child. They're letting you be an influence in their child's life. You're going to be a key to their child's future. So the least we can do is to do an introduction before back to school night and parent conference. I don't think back to school night should be the first time that we make contact with a parent, and the first 10 days is a great way to make contact, especially if there's behavior issues. And also if the kid knows that you've reached out to their parent, or you and the parent have some kind of a great professional relationship, I think they're more inclined to treat you with respect. So today's video, I want to share with you some stuff that I got from Ipsy. I love giving myself a gift, and so that's the reason I signed up for Ipsy, so that every month I'll get this package in the mail for myself. And it's always a surprise because Ipsy doesn't let you know, or at least I don't know what's coming. And it's 5 gifts, and out of the 5, I am certain that I'll love at least 1 or 2 things. I know the odds should be higher, but I'm perfectly fine with that. So this is the one that I got probably last week, and then this one maybe a month prior. And I have to say, I love this one. This episode is also about the pros and cons of being a teacher. If you didn't know, I am a teacher. So this channel is called XOXO Priscilla. Priscilla is my first name. I am a teacher. I've spent most of my teaching years as a high school teacher. I am no longer a high school teacher. I do spend my summers being an elementary teacher. Love it. Teaching at elementary gives me life. I mean, this year was hard, as in last week. This year was hard because it was a class of all boys. You need girls in the classroom to help boys. Boys just act different when girls are in the classroom. If it's all boys, oh my God, they just want to break things and run. So the pros and cons of being a teacher. The things that I'll be talking about: parents, students, school leaders, pay, professional development. So those are the topics that I plan to touch on in no particular order. And while I touch on those topics, I do want to share some of the great goodies that I've gotten. Many of the goodies that I've gotten I haven't even used. I've been able to give them away to other people. So like last month, I got 2 great brushes from a company, MOTD. When I first became a teacher, I think the thing that I was most anxious about was working with parents, because I just assumed that many parents were going to be like helicopter parents, and that kind of overwhelmed me because I was a new teacher. And the most important thing when you become a teacher is building your confidence, and you build your confidence by practicing, because people are always going to be telling you all these different things to add to your tool belt. It's not until you choose the things that make sense to you and stick with it and let yourself fail. You have to let yourself fail. You have to you do have to journal. Like, that's how you get better too, because you get to go back and reflect and say, wow, gotten better. I was terrified when I first became a teacher, because it's one thing to know the information, but it's a different thing to try and get students to buy into it, and then to try and get a group of students to buy into it. Because the hardest part of teaching, I would say, is classroom management. Until you figure out how to manage a group of students and the surprises that will be thrown your way, you just won't feel effective. Classroom management is everything. Quick advice: set clear, firm boundaries. Consider watching some YouTube videos to see which strategies that might work best with your personality. Test them out, but be consistent. Strategies take time. That's the point of journaling, so you can write down what worked, different ways you want to tweak it, check on it, or read your notes often to see if it truly works for your style of teaching. But during the first 10 days of school,
Do a different icebreaker every day, or different team building activities every day, so that you could build a community. And if another student joins your class after those 10 days, make sure to do additional team building activities to help them make connections with their classmates, to help them assimilate into your classroom. The classroom is so dynamic. Changes happen for different reasons. Don't fall into it. Don't get upset. Just quickly adjust. I would encourage you to send home a survey during the first 10 days to get as much data as you can from the parents, like their email. When you send out emails to parents, please send it as a BCC to keep their emails private. Assign seating to students. It will help with behaviors. Honestly, think about when we have faculty meetings. If you're at a table with your school or teacher bestie, you're easily distracted. You know, it is what it is.
Rose infused lip oil by Vamiga. And so too gorgeous. It doesn't have a taste. It doesn't have a smell, or not that I noticed. And it doesn't have, my lips aren't tingling, which I love.
Teaching during the summer is a pro because you get to work with students who are not normally on your roster. Also get to make a lovely check. It's like time and a half. Some people double depending on how many hours you have, but I love it. You get to practice strategies for the fall. Win-win.
Love teaching during the summer because I get to try things out with students for an entire month and see if it works. But consistency is one of the things. Teachers just have to be consistent, and students are looking for consistency. There are the students who will be looking, who just like challenging people, and they will challenge you. So that's why it's so important that you be consistent and that you give yourself time enough to make something work. Oh my goodness, I did love this one too. So this is a perfume by Skylar. It has bergamot, coconut, and ambrose. When I tell you I love this stuff, it does something to me, and I don't even know, like, I'm loving this smell. It does have a strong coconut smell, but the bergamot, like, I would say they're like 50-50 or something. Anyway, I love it. I try not to put stuff on my skin anymore. I do break out very easy, and I guess most people do if we put it on our neck. But I have to say I love it. It'll stay with you all day. Wearing this perfume, I get the femininity that I'm looking for, but I also has the depth. I love and recommend this. Still smell good 5 hours later. Another topic is leadership. This is a challenging one. I find that you do have the leaders some leaders are great leaders. And to me, a great leader is a leader who will tell you, hey, this is our school's mission. This is the goal that I want you to reach for to support our school. And this is the goal I have for your class. So meaning they're sending that secondary goal probably through to your admin, one of the assistant principals who's over your department.
Hey, so don't be intimidated by an evaluation. Just be ready for it. One thing I would recommend during your prep period, go audit some other teachers. Ask them in advance. Sit in their class, look around the class, see what they do, see how they get ready. So I did this quite a bit. I learned some amazing strategies. I learned more effective ways to set up my room so I wasn't redoing the same thing daily or weekly. You just learn a lot. And don't be worried about your evaluation. Have the conversation, ask the questions you need to have, and get yourself ready. So you have this goal of where you want to move your students. So like if they're far below basic, maybe you want to move them to basic. How are you going to move them to basic? Show evidence that you did move them to basic. The ones you weren't able to move to basic, write down why you were unable to move them to basic, or what are some of the reasons. Were they excessively absent? Did the child need more social emotional support? Just identify the things you need so that you can justify what happened and what didn't happen when you need to.
Oh, what the heck? Dual-ended lash primer. The lilac side volumizes. So this is going to give you more volume, thicker, and then this is going to give you more length, make them look longer. Do I want them to look longer or thicker? I think I want longer. All right, what's another topic? PDs. Oh my God.
Keep in mind the PD schedule was already created in advance, the topics were already decided upon, teachers are very opinionated, and leaders are always hearing somebody else's opinion. So, the best thing to do is to get together with teachers, come up with a plan, agree upon the plan, and then share it with your immediate supervisor. I personally believe workshops will be helpful. Let's Before the workshop, quickly disseminate the information that needs to be disseminated. Start off maybe with an email, and then let teachers break out into the workshops of high interest to them to help them to gain confidence with strategies and new ideas. So that's just my thought. But in any case, you need to get with the teachers at your school, come up with the plan or idea together, and then approach admin.
Oh, it does fade. It's so funny. I like how the blue looks. I almost wish it wouldn't fade. Like it would just stay that color. Like, can't you just stay that color? But I guess it can't. I don't know. But let's see. Oh, that's a nice smell. Like it has the smell of something you get at a spa. And I only have large pores on my cheek. It's a little thick. Like I feel the coat. I do feel the coat. Oh, it has some weight to it. And it's so weird because after just rubbing it in, I feel my skin getting warm and tightening at the same time. Well, one of the most obvious topics is students. My entire time teaching, I think I shared earlier, I've been teaching for about 13 years or more. I usually always have one student in the class who likes to challenge the environment. I do find though, after some time I end up winning the student over, and it's usually because humor is very important to me in class. Getting a student to laugh at themselves when they make a mistake, just finding a way to make that kid laugh. Maybe we have a shared show we have in common, a shared hobby, something. Humor is very important to me, so finding a way to make them laugh, finding a way to make a connection, finding a way for them to make a connection to somebody else. And so the tough cookie, sometimes they'll make it hard for me to figure out what that thing is, and that thing may take 2 weeks or longer. So one of the things that helps me too, I have a lot of plants. I do. Let me see. Give me a second. Let me share one. And so having students water the plant, wipe the leaves, or just take care of the plants, for that day, or that helps the community. I take seeds so that students can plant their own plant and use that, to talk about rate of change, life cycle. If you are taking good care of the world, meaning it's plants, it's animal, it's people, that's a spiritual act, and that's how you take care of yourself. Being kind to others is you being kind to yourself too.
The opportunities for growth are amazing. I began in education as a teacher's assistant at elementary school. I then later became a university intern where I was immediately teaching a class. In fact, it was ninth grade English. It was shocking. So different districts do have programs where they can help a teacher's aide become a teacher. So please look into district intern programs. They're really amazing. These district intern programs also help teachers to add to their credentials, and this is district paid for. They do expect you to be with the district or commit to the district. I want to say about 5 years. In my mind, that's not a lot, so that's something you certainly want to consider. Teachers with a general education credential, I do believe that they out earn teachers with a special education credential, because if you have a gen ed credential, you can teach an auxiliary class. I know with my educational specialist credential, I've asked to teach auxiliary, and they're often saying the funds aren't there, and those additional 20 hours a month do help out. But then you are able to be a coordinator if you have a special education credential, and they will allow you to say co-teach with another teacher. But trying to be a special special education coordinator and co-teach is extremely challenging because making sure IEPs are compliant and then providing support to the teachers, it can be a little overwhelming. The districts do post job announcements as frequently as daily. You can potentially change your career every year, unless of course the school asks you to sign a contract, which isn't a bad thing, but it is what it is.
There's an eyeshadow. Now, I'm not really great at eyeshadows. I think because I have such big eyes, and the eyeshadow should have went on before the mascara. I'm putting down some primer because I find that because my skin is more melanated, the color will pop if I put down a primer. Living wage. So what I do also love about teaching, so I think it's a great profession, and so if you're the larger your school district, more movement you can have. So like for myself, I became the special ed chair to try to get a taste of what it might feel like leading people, to get an idea of how to set up and run a meeting. I had a co-chair. So I've been an intervention coordinator. I've been a program specialist, different things. And so that's what I like about working at a large school district, is that pretty much every year you can kind of go to a different school. You can go until they make you sign a contract. So the school that I'm actually starting in the fall, they had me sign a 3-year contract, which I was like, really? It's a way to make you commit some time to the school. It is what it is. I did it. I didn't like it, or I don't like the idea of it, because you know it's challenging. Like, what if the place is not so great and I'm bound to be there? Yeah, I don't like that part. But then, because 3 years can feel like an eternity, you know. I do hope you come back for tomorrow's. So tomorrow's video, I'm sharing some stuff that I got from Coach, and I'll be sharing about the one position that I hated as a teacher. So hopefully you'll come back for that one. All right, so this final thing is the eyeshadow. We talked about opportunities from growth. As a teacher, you do make a living wage. I know a lot of people say some crazy stuff. Yeah, it'd be great if we did get paid more, or enough to live in the zip code that we wanted to live in. It's likely, or at least for myself, I couldn't, as a teacher, I could not afford to live in my top 3 zip codes, but that's because I like the water. I'm a single wage, you know, I'm not married, so I cannot live in Malibu, Marina Del Rey. I mean, yeah, if I wanted to live in an apartment, I could, but it doesn't make sense to me to pay somebody else's mortgage when I could be paying my own. So as you can see, I don't really know how to put on mascara, and now that I think about it, I'm not even using the right brush. So that could be, oh, what the heck is this little cute brush for? Oh, this probably is a brush you only use where you're bringing in specific colors. My silly butt is using it to cover my whole eye. But here's one cool thing about being a teacher. Like, there's some cool programs out there. Like, I heard of the Teacher Next Door program, which wants firefighters and teachers to live in the neighborhoods that they teach in, and like you'll get a soft second, and then if you've lived there for 5 years and you're in good standing, that second will be forgiven. So that's a great program if you actually, you know, want to live in the neighborhood of your student, you know, and to know that not only can you afford your home, but you'll be able to pay it off, you know, and you won't have this crazy long commute to work. Because when I was first looking for a house, oh my god, they were so far out. So the commute was like an hour and hour and a half, and I was like, no, I can't do that. I can't have a long stressful day and then go get on a freeway. Oh my god, I will fall asleep. So that didn't work for me. But I do know that you have to live in the home for at least 5 years. So you can't turn it into income property. They're expecting that you live there in order for you to benefit from the program. So that's about it. This was in last month. I do love a nude polish. I didn't love this one so much. It's a little dark for my taste. This was a cranberry eyeshadow. So they give a lot of eyeshadows. Maybe I put eyeshadow down because I've always wanted to practice using eyeshadow. So those are pretty nude. And what was the other thing? This was an eye cream. I'm not really a fan of putting stuff around my eyes. Lastly, a gorgeous like a nude, well, not really nude, but nude family, nude red family. I know a lot of people left the profession. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of change. It can be frustrating. I just feel like, you know, you have to sit down and say to yourself, okay, here are the challenge that has been handed to me. How can I function in this environment? What strategies will I need to put in place in order to make it in this environment? And so that's what why did I take it out like that, Wings? That's what I do for myself. I'll say to myself, this is what you've been handed. What do you need to do to be able to make it? What do you all think? All right, I hope you all liked the video. If you have any questions as far as teaching, please let me know. Any questions on my Ipsy bag, please let me know. I found this video fun, and I hope you'll come back tomorrow for the Coach mini haul. Bye.